what's the cost of digital financial illiteracy?
Only one certain time, one boy called me, say he send money for me, 5,000 naira. So I look my alert, I see the 5,000. He said, me I send her back from there, I can't send her back for her. So after one day, one old man call me, say, my papa, he can't pray for me. So as he wants start to talk another thing, in this one, then I block the line.
A young boys, tí mi ò rò sí rárá. Ó gbé 75,000 naira lọ́wọ́ mi ní Iléyá kẹta. Between me àti ẹni tó parí iṣẹ́ yẹn. Bẹ́ẹ̀ sì ọkùnrin ó gbé jáde lọ́jọ́ Iléyá gan pé òun fẹ́ páàkì ẹrù yẹn. Ìyẹn ló fi ṣe finishing product tó lù. Ìyẹn ni bó jẹ́ owó ọ̀kadà tó ń gbé wá láti Bòdè Olúdé. That is 2,000 naira tó fún máa yẹn nínú 17,000 tí yẹn fẹ́ gbà. Èmi 70 ó dẹ̀ lọ gbé.
These are not just stories about fraud or scams. It is about the hidden costs of joining a digital economy without protection. Because in this world, if you don't click safe, you crash. Only 13% of women in Nigeria's informal sector have received any formal digital literacy training. Most do not know what OTP means, how to report fraud, what a cloned app looks like, or what a fake transfer look like.
This my phone wetin make me not put the app to transfer, and because of say maybe I feel misplace my phone, so I don't know go carry the phone now. If you go through my phone, if you remove everything within my account, that make me not put on my phone. So most time even my card, I know they carry am for us. I dey leave one for us because I feel misplace am. He get one way call me. He say make I in the work for my bank. So I can't follow up or I can't ask and say, which bank? Because me already code. I just like get the idea of 419 before. I was like, which bank? And me, I dey use GT. So the person can say First Bank. So now they have to say, now like can say, first of all, can say me I send now. You get what they do for the bank. Me I send now the 3-digit number. When it for my my card, my ATM card. So I not send now. So I just insert them for the phone, call her 419, so end the call. So that's why I take talk to the person.
So the person was now like, I should send my number to him, that he will some kind open it back for me. And I said no. So that was then I called my husband because he was making use of OPay POS. So I called him. He said that I should not try, that it's fake.
You see, say this men sort it apple. When they grow, they come. All this kind mobile, this thing, and they leave better money for there. Once I just finish my today business, because no man that app I they use, because then they fast. Every evening, once I just close for market. As I they reach us, all the money where they that my account, I they transfer out to my bank accounts. I remember that day I just a hug, they go for inside markets. My phone call ring. The person tell me say that from my bank, and they won't rectify some issue with my account. What it be my PIN? Say they won't send me code to my phone. Make I read the code for them. And my mind just tell me say these people na scam. They really send the code to my phone. They can't see coming back, say make that code where they send to me now, make I just call her for their contact and say, bros, if you scam, because the don't use that they scam my WhatsApp. And that one that can give me the sense. The don't use that they hack my WhatsApp that time. I just send the person call me, I send her the code. I don't see my WhatsApp again. Since that year when they hack my WhatsApp accounts, I can't let say any T code, I don't fit share that with anybody.
Nigeria cybersecurity strategy has zero DPI specific protection for informal users. So, rural women are paying for systems they don't understand. Who is responsible?
When it comes to banks protecting the digital infrastructure, we are looking at it from the point of the bank has a key responsibility to all its customers. And banks are also systemically important as they've been times as a critical infrastructure in any country. And this is because the bank has to earn the trust of customers in everything that they do. When it comes to information security, cyber security is one of the things that you hold yourself accountable is the triad of information security, which is the confidentiality, the integrity, and the availability. So you also have to ensure that you keep the threat actors, at bay, away from your environment. And as technology continues to evolve and continue to increase, so the threats are also increasing. So we are at the era of AI, machine learning, quantum computing, and all that generative AI. All those ones also increase this surface attack, which means as you continue to diversify and take advantage of all the emerging technology, your risk surface is also increasing. That means people can now attack you from different areas. Most of the motivation for the cybersecurity attacks and breaches is because they are looking for the money. And with the open banking also coming up, there are so many things that people need to start considering in terms of how do you use multi-layered defense of protecting your digital asset from cyber threat. For all these agency banking or agent banking services, we want to do device verification. We want to do agent verification just to ensure that you are not dealing with robots or rogue things. Then, of course, you are also looking at the channels, which is the network and communication security. So we want to ensure that that is also secure in a way, because even if the endpoint is secure and the channels are not secure, there's what we call man-in-the-middle attack that can be used, to intercept your traffic. So you also want to ensure that that area is also covered.
While NGOs, banks, telcos, and fintechs try to share tips, most of these messages don't reach the women who need them. It's rarely in their language or in their markets, and it's never on time.
Okay, so within my space, I try to explain that, of course, I deal with the low literacy level women and as the case may be. What we do is we, first and foremost, we create agents amongst them. So your credibility, your integrity, and what you represent within that community are part of the things that allow us onboard you as an agent. And people that live within that space know you already. Using the example of the smallholder farmer, there's always a lead amongst them that kind of groups people together in helping them position their farming season for fertilizers, for support and all that. Such a person are part of the people that we target to become our agent within that space. So for part of the trust, we have taken that at that little level. So basically what we do generally is to send different nuggets to all our customers and our agent as well. We have put measures in place to ensure that our customers do not also fall victim. Messages such as do not share your pain with anyone. Do not respond to messages asking you to send the number of your days. So we generally keep sending messages to our customers for them to be aware of the things that can be done and cannot be done. As things are evolving, we're moving gradually away from one-time password to facial recognition for transaction consummation, which makes it even more secure. When you use liveliness check to authorize payment, it's very difficult for somebody to impersonate you and also use this. We know that the pins and the OTPs could still be compromised in some cases. For the customers, we let them know through the messages that they receive after they get onboarded onto our platform. But for our agents, it's very clear that you cannot take down information. Every information about onboarding a customer should be directly done by the prospective customer himself. So yes, there might be some breaks here and there, of people that are not completely literate that need assistance. But it's a gradual process.
Even if we spend so much money in investing in technology and in process, all these are very important. If you leave the human aspect, then you are going to fail. That's definitely, because the human firewall, they're the most important of any organization. Awareness from different levels is going, both internally and externally, and also at the federal level, just for people to understand that you also have a responsibility to pay. You have a role to play to secure your digital identity. If you are going to be sharing your PIN or your password or your whatever with people, then when fraud happens against you, then you're also liable, you're also responsible.
Literacy is not just for security. What about privacy? In the race for digital inclusion, we've skipped the part where people understand what they're signing up for. Does informed consent, privacy, and data protection also apply to women in the informal sector?
If you look at it from the point of the Data Protection Act, it makes it clear that consent must be informed. Informed means you need to give information about why you're collecting that data. That's transparency. You're able to know exactly what I'm collecting the data for. You're also able to know what kind of data I'm collecting, who I'm sharing this with. And then it needs to be freely given. When we say freely given, we mean it cannot be that if you don't give me this consent, then you suffer this consequence. Okay? And there can be no threats attached to, this consent that is being given. You also need to inform them that just as you have given me this consent, you can also take back this consent at any point in time. At which point, when you take back the consent, I will stop processing your personal information. And then consent needs to be specific. You can't just be collecting consent and say, oh, we need it, because you never know when we might need the information. That's not specific, okay? So consent needs to be informed, it needs to be freely given, and it needs to be specific. And so women in the informal economy often share phones. They also rely a lot on agents for transactions. This creates multiple vulnerabilities, issue of uninformed consent, right, to data processing, and the issue of agent fraud. Then you also have profiling risk. So a popular example would be where loan companies, right, use this kind of information to make unfair lending decisions. If you're looking at a woman in the informal sector who has limited education, limited exposure, it becomes easy to then sort of bamboozle them or confuse them or deceive them, because you have information about who this customer is. They're living below the poverty line. They don't have access to information. They don't have access to news. And then lastly, there's reputational harm. And we saw a lot of this, when loan defaulters were shamed publicly. And a lot of times we noticed that it disproportionately affected women.
NDPC says data breaches are penalized, but enforcement is slow. Only 1 in 4 digital fraud cases in rural Nigeria is reported. Increased enforcement would drive up reporting because they trust the process. Safety shouldn't be an afterthought. Digital inclusion without safety is just exposure that has already cost too many women too much. We need local radio guides, voice prompts, community-level DPI safety campaigns in local languages, USSD menus that flag risky behaviors, and systems that assume nothing except that everyone deserves to be safe.
For women with low literacy level, organizations such as fintechs must rethink their user interface. Okay, I've seen a lot of fintech apps that use audio or visual prompts in local languages. And I think that this is a very good example of when technology is innovating to meet the diverse needs of individuals from different walks of life. Another thing that they can do is to adopt a layered consent notice. You're presenting the critical information first, so that someone who looks at that document at a glance is able to really understand what it is, you're asking them for. And then lastly, they also need to encourage community-based digital literacy. So what this means is that consent will not just be a checkbox, but it will be a meaningful discussion. I would like to see more enforcement, right? Specifically, enforcement actions that set precedent for protecting women's data.
If a phone is now a bank, then every woman must have the same protection we demand in a bank. Because in this world, if you don't click safe, you crash. This is the last part of our 4-part story on the women building wealth with just a phone. This story is supported by the Center for Communication and Social Impact, CCSI. Special thanks to all the women who let us into their businesses, their systems, and their strength.